Okay, we're going to try to do a deep dive into our Sermon and Resource Center. There's a few key concepts to go over, but I'll try to keep this video as short as possible while still giving you like a broad overview of kind of everything. So to get to your Resource Center, we come over here to Sermons. Now, even though it's called Sermons, you might have multiple things, right? You might have a leadership podcast or a help center for people in your community. That's all type. Everything that we're doing there is under the sermon section. So we'll come into sermons, and there's a few key concepts to get to know. So you have channels, you have series, and you have episodes. So in the context of, let's say, your Sunday morning preaching, I would say you would create a channel called Sunday Services, and then you might be doing a series on grace, and then you might have 4 sermons that are episodes, one for each week of the month. Or let's say you have a leadership podcast. You could create a new channel that's a leadership. You could say this is season 1 of the leadership podcast, and then maybe there's 20 episodes within there. So these core concepts is how we've organized all of the media library. It also lets you scale, so you can have as many different podcast feeds going out to Spotify, Apple, and all of that by creating new channels. So each of those feeds comes from a channel. And of course, within there, you can also tag things like West Campus to East Campus, different things like that. So it's a way of segmenting all of your media. So there are other options through here, like adding categories, which would be like tags, contributors, which is like the person that's preaching. And of course, you can do sermon notes, outlines, and with your live stream, you can do chat rooms. But for this video, I'm going to focus on these key elements. So without further ado, I'm going to go into channels. You can see I've already kind of set up a Sunday Sermons channel, but just so you can see it, I'll click in so you can see the options. So you have the option to do a few different media types for the image. You can set like a banner, you can set a normal 16:9 and a square image. So these are just used different areas on the site and also in different places like Spotify, for instance, would have like a square image. So this is where that can be set, and it's also where you'll set all the information that something like Spotify would need for your RSS feed to go to them. So there's that. So within a series, we'll just go about creating a new series here. So you can see I have a couple in here already. Real quick, I'm going to add a new one. This series is called Solace. So we'll create that. Now we're in here. I'm going to go on and set it to published. I'm going to say that this is part of the channel Sunday Sermons. And then I'm going to go on and add just a 16:9. I've already uploaded the image, but of course you can browse stock photos and all of that as well. So I'm going to save that real quick. And so now we've got a new series in the system. So when we're adding episodes, you can see I have a few in here already, but I'm going to add just a new episode here. Forgive me, I'm copying and pasting from another screen. But real quick, I'm going to go new episode, give the episode a name. This would be the name of your sermon, of course, and click create. Going to copy this link here to the Vimeo video. And so what I'll do is I'll scroll down here. We got a video here. I'm going to enter the Vimeo link. I'm also going to add some descriptions. Descriptions are always good, right? This is how you rank in SEO in search engines. So you always want to have a descriptive text for the video. You can upload audio as well. If you want an audio podcast, this is the place to do it. Or if you host your audio somewhere else, you can insert a link to that external audio. So if I scroll further down, I still have those same square banner and 16:9 images. I'm just going to select the series art from that we're going to add to the series, and then I'm also going to set a note outline. So this is completely optional, but if you have a note outline for people to follow along, this is a cool way to kind of attach those notes to the sermon themselves. So lastly, we just need to categorize this, right? So I'm going to set this as published. We need to say, okay, now this sermon is part of the Sunday Sermons channel. It's part of the series Solos, and then we're going to say who like, if you have a tag, you can say like, oh, this one's on grace, something like that. That would apply broadly across other things. I'm going to leave it blank for now. I'm going to set the contributor. Contributor is the person that is actually speaking, the preacher. And lastly, if you are multi-campus church, you can set the campus that this was preached out, just as a good way of grouping things. So I'm going to hit save. So that's going to save in our system. If you just give it a second. There you go. And then we're going to go and we can see we can see how to kind of like put that on a page. So if you've already got a sermons page kind of set up, then there's nothing else you need to do. The sermon would already be live and in the page. But if you haven't yet set one up, we've got a sermons page here. That's an example. I've already got some things listed. You can see here's the new sermon that's already showing up in this view. You can of course sort by the person that spoke. You can sort by the series, or if you're in the sermons view, you can or the series view, you can click into here and you'll see a list of episodes. There's also, if you search sermons, you can see there's different ways to kind of highlight this information to make it really easy. And also ways to like feature your latest sermon on your homepage and things like that. So that is how that works. Did keep it short. So if you have any questions, of course, just email support@thechurchco.com or chat us through this little icon right here, which will connect you right to our team. Anyway, have a good day.